What is going on, guys? DBG here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about what might be the best mode for this season, and it's going to be Domination 3.0. Heat check Dom. First of all, I'm telling you, if you win a game on Hall of Fame difficulty, you are earning 875. So there were a lot of different tactics that kind of helped earn more XP, but literally you just have to win. You just have to win. And I'm going to be showing you guys, not just on current gen, on both gens, how you can so easily win. You don't even need good players. You don't even need good players. Like, I won. I'm barely focusing on the game. I'm not even playing defense. And I think I beat the Raptors by like 30 and the Celtics by 20 using a not great team. Well, I used some good players, but I don't even know why I used good players because you don't need to. So, first of all, what I'm going to say is, if you have the game on next gen, a lot of people are going and doing challenges going back to current gen because supposedly it's easier. It is not. I am telling you right now, the Hall of Fame CPU does not miss on current gen. They do not miss. They will play proper offense and they will actually make reads and adjust. The next gen CPU on Hall of Fame difficulty barely hit a shot because they're bad cards. They barely hit a shot. I am telling you, it is a million times easier because the CPU does not cheese you as much on next gen. And also the CPU literally can't guard one specific thing. However, if you are, there are certain situations where, I think I have an Ascension board here anyway, but I'll speak through it. But there are certain situations where if you are looking to, for example, do a bunch of XP challenges, if you're looking to level up, do a bunch of them, you know what, like, I can see there being like a legitimate argument for current gen because there are certain things like that are easier on current gen. But in general, if you were on both gens, in terms of speed, I would advise next gen, because as much as people like to say that current gen is slower, trust me, or next gen is slower, trust me, it's not. The players look like they move slower, but with the loading times and everything, it's a lot quicker on current gen. So the team that I was using, honestly, was this. I had Fultz, Eddie Jones, Glenn, Thurl, and Kemp, and then off the bench I had Jamorant, D'Angelo Russell, Jonathan Isaac, Tom Gugliotta, and Dino. I am telling you, you do not need a team like this. And the two guys that you were just pointless using were Eddie Jones. So basically, what you need is this. You need a decent point guard. And when I mean decent, I mean like you can probably get away with using... Quick first step is preferable. It is preferable. So you could get away with using this Dame. You could definitely get away with using this Damian Lillard. I'm saying that right now. You could get away with him. Maybe not Steph because he doesn't dunk it. Preferably be able to dunk the ball as well. That does help. But for me, Markelle Fultz, Chris Paul, I wouldn't suggest using him, honestly. I think I would use Steve Francis over Chris Paul. Like, these two guys are great to run at the one. But who had I been using? Who was I using at the one off the bench? I was using Jamorant. Ja works, obviously. But if you don't have an FMT, Steve Francis. But again, someone like a Dame works fine. Just literally just at least silver quick first step, a little bit of a dunk, and a competent passer. That is all you need. At the 2 and the 3, literally just guys that don't have to do anything. So give me this Clay, just for contract situations. Are there any good defenders at gold? Not really. Is there anyone that can play a 2? No, then just give me Deshaun Stevenson because he can play a bit of defense. Aren't any great emeralds small forwards. Actually, give me Jeffries. Then, I mean, I could go with Jeff Green, but Jeff Green's quite expensive right now. Actually, these guys are kind of expensive because I'm pretty sure with limited. But either way, this is just showing low overalls you can use. Literally, you just need 2 guys that can hold defense a little bit and dunk and score an open layup. That's literally all you need. If they can score an open layup, they're fine. Speed, you don't need it. Either gen, speed, you do not need it. The only players that matter are your point guards and your 2 bigs. And your 2 bigs, literally just dunkers. Just get dunkers. So guys that I was running Thurl. Was not the biggest fan of Thurl, honestly. He didn't feel like he was dunking that much for me. Like standing and driving of 80, that was fine. But again, he's fine. Like, Thurl is fine. Thurl's not great. Thurl is fine, though. Like, using an Ibaka is better. Definitely, because Serge Ibaka has got a 90 driving dunk. But it's just someone to catch lobs, basically. Centers, obviously the perfect player is Sean Kemp. Sean Kemp scored, you can see he's averaging 20 points a game. Literally because I'm just throwing lobs to him The only 2 games he played were those last 2, and I threw lobs to him for every possession. I'm pretty sure, maybe one of the games didn't count, but I'm pretty sure, oh no, sorry, it's the only second game on this gen. So it's like he definitely scored like 40 in both of those games. And then off the bench, actually Isaac is a perfect player. Jonathan Isaac works, he's ideal to run in that position. But there's a bunch of them, like you can run Jeff Green at the 4 if you want. You can go with, I was using Dino at the 5. Dino's pretty nice because just his length. He catches lobs really, really well. Although he doesn't have the greatest dunking stats, they're similar to Thurl. He catches lobs really well. Power forward, Gugliotta works incredibly well. Actually, Gugliotta, considering the fact that Isaac's just better, if you have Isaac, this team works perfectly. Basically, you just need a point guard that can sometimes attack the basket, if very much needed, and 2 guys that can catch lobs. That is literally all you need. I also want to say, if you are playing on current gen with the way stamina works, you don't need a bench. Like, trust me, you do not need a bench. If you want to have a bench, you can have a bench. If you don't need one, you don't need one. You can just put a bunch of bronzes there to say empty on contracts. If you are on next gen, you 100% need a bench. That is something I forgot to mention. You definitely need to make rotations on next gen because of the way stamina works. Because of the way stamina works on current gen, you do not need a bench. So, you might be thinking, are there anyone else that you can use? Because you better believe if this video gets like 50, 60,000 views, which it probably won't, it probably will be around the 15 to 20. Either way, you better believe all of these cards are going to be bought up. So you're probably going to have to find alternatives. And alternatives are literally 90% of centers in this game. So let me just go center, Ruby, center. And let's just say max price, 1650. Drummond works. I'm not sure if Embiid works. Mutombo works. Like Mutombo, 85, 95. Sanders works. I'm not sure about Cat. I will say that I'm not sure about Cat. Does he work? No. I wouldn't use Boga for it. But again, Mutombo, Sanders, Drummond works. These guys are 1,000 MT. I wouldn't use Sim Vular. I would not use Sim. Although I wouldn't be that opposed to using Taco Fall. Because I'm pretty sure you get the Lob City finisher. Or, oh no, actually, sorry. That was last year he got half Lob City finisher. I wouldn't use Taco Fall. But you're flicking through these guys. There are so many. There's so many of these cards. No way anyone's going to price fix them. And trust me, even if you're stuck, Mutombo is perfectly fine to use. Even at the 4 or at the 5. They don't need to be able to shoot the ball. Trust me, they don't. If you do the tactics enough times and you are patient enough, you will score every time. Literally every possession you'll score. And on the defensive end, you don't even have to try really. You can not try on defense. Your opponent will miss shots. And unlike Spotlight Sims or unlike the other Domination, Spotlight Sims, sometimes teams could just absolutely demoralize you, destroy you in Spotlight Sims on Hall of Fame, especially that Tony Parker card in San Antonio Spurs. But like in these, and especially in like all-time Dom, those cards could destroy you. Like these heat check cards aren't good. It's literally just regular Dom all over again. Okay, maybe Curry can cook you. That's about it. So, like, you will win most games. If you just literally spamming one thing. If you try, you'll win most games. And even not trying, you should win most games. By just doing one thing on both the gens. Just keep it easy. It's just going to be the one thing. So anyway, now we are going to show what it is. So on current gen, there's a bunch of ways. Like you can do it with back cuts, just a whole bunch of things. But for me, because you don't need to beat them by the computer by that much, you literally just need to beat them and just get a couple of assists because it's on half difficulty. Honestly, for me, just throw lobs. Like fast break works perfectly. If you can get stops, running the fast break is going to be the easiest way to score because the AI can't stop fast breaks. However, if you are like me or you just don't focus on the game, you're not going to get that many fast breaks. So if you're not getting many fast breaks, honestly, the best thing to do is just pick and rolls. Like pick and rolls on current gen, for me anyways, the easiest way to go about it. You got to know when to throw the pass. Like you'll get used to it eventually. And there's a lot of times that the CPU will be in the lane. Like this time here, there was no reason for me to throw that pass because Daniel Tice was obviously in a position to guard it. But a situation like that was just dumb. What you have to do is, what I end up doing here is the right decision. So the pass isn't on straight away. So what you do, you back off, you reset. You gotta reset. If you don't reset and you rush things, that's when you make the mistakes. If you do 2 to 3 pick and rolls in a possession, eventually you'll get a lob open. And that was a terrible, terrible game that I played. Still managed to get 300 over the amount that was needed. So fairly easy. Next gen, like I don't even know how to describe. Like on current gen, the AI cheeses you and makes every shot. On next gen, the AI starts doing this. Like, I get it, end the shot clock, but like, come on. If that was current gen, they would have shot some ridiculous shot and scored it. Also, the AI just can't guard pick and rolls. I don't know what it is. They maybe 1 in every 10 times will guard pick and roll. Like, that time they guarded well. That's why I say having a dunking point guard's perfect. But like, they don't guard pick and rolls. I scored 6 points in the first quarter of this game. It's the reason why I only started recording the third quarter, because I realized how to beat it. But literally, I don't know what it is. The help defensive AI, because it's programmed to work better against humans, it actually doesn't help off the corners most of the time. So you literally can just walk down. Very, very rarely does the corner help in. They'll all be on every single time. Like, this was a game where I scored 6 points in the first quarter. 6 in the first quarter, because I didn't realize how to beat the Hall of Fame CPU on next gen. End up winning the game by 30 points. 1400 MT. Comfortably getting it. So anyway, yeah, that is the video. These are the heat check dominations. I think it's probably the best thing to complete. Yeah, it's going to take you about 10 to 12 hours. It's probably quicker on next gen, but not significantly quicker. It's just load times and everything are faster. However, in general, I think it's the best thing because you get a whole bunch of tokens, you get a whole bunch of those heat check cards. Depending on if you get like a Steph Curry or something, you could get a really, really expensive card. And if you do end up getting something like that, you've made a lot of MT out of it. When it's all said and done, I reckon you'll probably make around 75 to 100k MT overall for all of your cards, which is really, really good. And as well as that, you're going to get a whole bunch of tokens, 1 token per game with the current event, as well as that a Jamison card, which won't be the best card in the game, but will be a very good, because you got X on base, which will be a very, very good card for at least the next 2 to 3 months. So anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it, lads. That's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
I think you only love me 'cause I'm poppin'. This a layup, this a rebound, then it's robbing. Tyson with the fade, not the hair